And you have also heard witnesses give testimony to the good character of my client. Now, if you believe them, you cannot, in all conscience, believe Mrs. Morris's story. It is all too easy for a woman scorned to cry rape as an act of revenge. Their conviction in this case will make it even easier in the future. Search your consciences. All that we ask is justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morton. Mr. Sterling, you may address the jury.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, God. If I were on the jury, even I'd believe
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen of the jury.
You're not.
I won't take up too
He may
much
be
of your
good,
time.
but he can't alter the
It's been a
facts.
long day, and I'm sure you're all anxious to get home for a nice cuppa. Or something a little stronger, hmm? You've heard the eloquence of Mr. Morton in defense of his client. I'm afraid I have nothing as grandiose to offer you. But let us quickly look at the facts. Margaret Morris was brutally raped by two men who broke into her home. She has identified one of the men as the defendant. Rather than pleading his innocence, the defendant claims that he was there at her invitation, that she instigated the sexual intercourse. Well, really, forgive me for being flippant, but he should be so lucky. You've heard the honest cry of Mrs. Morris on the witness stand. You've heard the statement from the police surgeon who examined her, the sexual offences officer who took her statement, and the affidavit from one Angela Adams, which, while not in itself conclusive, certainly suggests that this vicious sexual attack was premeditated. Margaret Morris has suffered enough. Do not hand down a verdict which will cause her more suffering. Mr. Morton says he wants justice. Well, so do we, members of the jury. So do we.
Members of the jury, this case is now in your hands. If you believe, as Mr. Morton claims, that Mrs. Morris was a willing party to any sexual acts that may have transpired, then you must find the defendant not guilty. If,
You all
on
right?
the other hand, you feel the Crown has proved
I'm
its
not
case
surprised. Look, you've done your part. Let me
beyond
take you
any
home.
reasonable doubt,
No, I'll see it through.
then the defendant is guilty as charged. I shall ask you to retire now to consider your verdict.
You may leave now. Thank you.
Hey, Petster, don't forget now, half your buy-up.
I'm doing you a favour.
You might even lose a few pounds.
Shut, bitch.
Oh, when'd you get back?
Oh, about 5 minutes ago.
How was it?
Oh, ace.
Oh, great.
Hey, listen, if you two stop playing silly buggers, because if you have, I'll tell you a secret.
Yeah, come on. If you tell us, it won't be a secret, will it?
All right, then, if you don't want to know,
Oh,
I won't
come
bother
on,
telling
I do. Tell.
You ready?
Yeah.
I've got a fella, and I don't just mean a one-night stand either. I mean a real fella, a boyfriend.
Yes.
Cross me heart's a bit on my grandmother's grave, and you name it.
Well, what do you know?
He doesn't care where I've been or what I've done. Just loves me.
Oh, Bob, that's fantastic.
Oh, geez, I'm wrapped. Hope you two find blokes like Pete.
Oh, I reckon I'm getting an appetite for Yorkshire pud. Mr. C? Well, why not? Can't hurt to have a screw in your side.
Oh, sex star buggers. I don't
Hey,
reckon
Rabbit.
he'd be in it anyway.
Just leaves Matt for you. What do you reckon?
She'll be in like Flint.
Oh, geez, you're wrong, both of you. You know what Myra said about him making the decision? He did. Pics. It's going to take him ages to get over her. I really like him. He said he just wants to be me mate. So that's what I'm going to be. A really good mate. I reckon that's better than sex any day.
It's nice when you get both, but...
Members of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
We have. We find the defendant guilty as charged.
And is this the verdict of you all?
It is.
You have performed your duties in a true and proper fashion. The jury
Enough's
is
enough.
now
Let's get you out of here. Got some water?
Oh, Shane!
Auntie Jane?
Oh, Shane, boy, you gave me a fright. What are you doing here?
Well, I didn't know whether you'd want me here or not, but you do, don't you?
Of course I do. But listen...
And I can stay with you, can't I?
Now, Shane, wait a minute. You've got a home now. What about your new parents?
They're not me parents. They hate me.
Shane.
That's why I ran away. And I'm never going back there again. Never.
Mitchell, Governor.
Hello, Bobby. How's the job?
Oh, it's really good, Mrs. Reynolds. I really love it. Thought I was going to be fired or something like that when Mr. C said that you wanted to see me.
Not quite, but you won't be going to work tomorrow.
Oh, why? Mrs. Reynolds, I haven't done anything wrong. If I have, I'll make up for it. But please don't stop me from going to work.
I think you'd better sit down, Bobby. I've got something to tell you, and it may come as quite a shock.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare.